G'day trendsetters, John with Gravel Cyclist. I'm coming to you today with a tinkering video. So behind me is the Pivot Vault review bike, and it's fitted with Shimano's GRX Di2 electronic shifting drivetrain. This drivetrain is made specifically for gravel. Shimano, being the conservative types that they are, inform everybody that their 2x rear derailleur can shift up to a 34 tooth cog. But I'm here today to prove to you with a demonstration that you can shift up to a 40, and I'm using the 48-31 chainrings, and on the bike here I've got an 11-40 XTR MTB cassette. So without further ado, let's go. So here is your Shimano GRX Di2 derailleur, which apart from the electronic functionality is identical to the mechanical version. They can shift the same cog range, etc. And I understand the cage length is identical. Now what I've done to prepare this derailleur for its arduous task of shifting up and down this cassette is I turned the B screw here in 3.5 turns. Before it was set up to run with an 11-32 cassette. So 3.5 turns clockwise, it's dropped the top pulley down, providing for clearance between the top jockey wheel and the biggest cog. Okay folks, so right now the cassette is sitting on the middle of the range, and the top two cogs are 35 and 40. So we've got a low gear of 31. Nice for climbing. Up we go. Now right now I'm on a 31/35 low gear, and as you can see it shifted perfectly. Here's the 40. Absolute perfection. No problems whatsoever. I'll shift it down again. You can see the speed. It makes a bit of noise sometimes, but look at that. Pretty nice. I think it depends where the shift ramps are located whenever I execute the shift. So I know that everyone's going to ask, hey John, what about the big ring? So let's test that next. So here we are with the big ring test. I need to mention real quick, this chain is the same length as the chain when I had it with my 11-32 cassette. I have not installed a new chain, no extra length. So with that said, I'm not going to shift from the big to the big. I'm only going to go from big to one down. The cog down is a 35, so I'll be running a 48-35 if this goes to plan. So here we go, onto the big ring. I'll slow it down a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Up the cog. And here we go, 48-35. That's pretty nice. Now if I had a longer chain, I might risk doing big, but I'm not going to. You can see there's quite a lot of stretch there right now. It's pretty much maxed out. In fact, I'll switch the camera angle so you can see it a little bit better. So there you can see big chainring 48 with a 35 on the back. I dare not do big right now. In fact, I don't recommend you try it at all. So here's another demonstration from the other angle. Let's go all the way down the cassette to show that it shifts really nicely. Look at that, 48-35. That's pretty sweet. So Shimano is obviously being very conservative with their gearing on the Shimano GRX Di2 and mechanical system. And the final test, I'll just show how the derailleur runs on the small ring with this cassette. So we'll drop it to the small ring. We'll go through the range. Now bear in mind, the firmware blocks me on the small ring from going any further than 2 cogs at the very end. That's a Shimano firmware block. All the way back up. Now I could probably turn the B screw in by another half turn because it's making a little bit of noise when it shifts to the 40, but yeah, right there. Sometimes it shifts perfectly, like then. In fact, let's do another turn of the B screw and see what happens. Here we are, folks. 2mm Allen key. Let's do a half turn. Let's see if that makes a difference. And it's still a bit noisy, so but I think the shifting is quite acceptable. And we've almost, I think, debunked the myth with Shimano GRX Di2 that you can run way bigger than an 11 to 34 cassette. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video to be somewhat helpful and insightful. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Gravel Cyclist YouTube channel and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos as they appear on the channel. I'll see you in the next video.